'Cause you're not us.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your team, sign off and imitator. Never duplicate a superstar Team Vicious. And we are going to go over Raw this week. It was in the ThunderDome. And, well, before we get into that, no big shocking news to report this week. But, so, with that said, we're going to switch gears, talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind, and there was only really two big highlights from last week's SmackDown. One being the obvious that, went over prior, Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title, and it was, if Bryan loses, his SmackDown career is done. Daniel Bryan lost. It was a clean loss. Clean victory for Roman. Also, Roman came out to some really nice new music. Like, some of you could just sit there and do, damn, that's some good shit, son. And, like, damn, yeah. So, where Daniel Bryan goes from here, nobody really knows. He could wind up working Mondays or Tuesdays. Not quite sure. I know Johnny Gargano has been teasing that he wants Bryan on Tuesdays. Nobody's really said nothing about the possibility of Mondays. Honestly, what I personally think would be the smart thing to do is let him sit on the sidelines for a bit. Let him sit off on the sides for a bit. Let the scuttlebutt and whispers go about, oh, well, do you think he could go here? Do you think he's going to go there? Well, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think he's going to quit? Do you think he's going to retire? What's going on? And then let the big payoff happen in a surprise way of, oh my God, he's here on this show? Wow. I'm just saying, that's me personally. That said now, the other big thing that happened, Big E got his one-on-one Intercontinental title rematch against Apollo Crews. Big E won via DQ, courtesy of Dabba-Kato, General Aziz hitting the, and then Owens came out, and then Sami Zayn came out, and it was a big schmaz, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, either way, I'm digging this. Here's the thing. Try and put it into perspective like this. We all do this. We all bitch after so long saying, WWE needs to put in new talent. They need new faces. They need new faces. They need new faces. Okay, well, we're going to do Raw Underground to help introduce certain new talent. Oh, well, fuck that shit. We don't like it. Okay, well, so much for using that to bring in new faces. Well, we're going to do this. Ah, fuck that. We're all guilty of that, including myself. I've shit on things too, no different than anyone else. In case you haven't noticed with this show. But point being, they're doing the work. They're putting in the effort to try and introduce new faces. Do I think General Aziz is going to be have the potential to, in another 6 or 7 years with this character as he is now, go and challenge for a world title? Good God, no. But do I see this as a potential stepping stone to have that character eventually evolve into something else that could eventually lead to a potential world title match? You never say never in the wrestling business or in life. So, with that said, let's get into this week's show, Raw. It starts out with a taping from earlier in the day where MVP is arguing with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and oh dear God almighty, Sonya Deville in a red suit. Hit the brakes right there, because this, right there and there, let's just stop for a minute and think. If WWE Studios is going to do a remake of a movie, easy enough. Let's remake Bedazzled and have Sonya Deville play the role of the devil, and you can have Adam Pearce go and play the role of the gullible guy that the devil gives 10 wishes to. Just saying. Because, Sonya, she already got she got that whole damn look down. God damn. Whew. And I feel a proverbial brain duster hitting me in the back of the head. Sorry. Okay, with that said, now that I'm done hound dogging for the moment, MVP is arguing with Adam Pearce and Sonya for a coin toss on who Bobby Lashley's going to face tonight, and then Drew and Braun come out and they start squawking and bickering, blah 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 blah. It's tails. Bobby Lashley's gonna fight Braun Strowman. And so then we get to our first match of the night. AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day. Before the match, AJ cuts a promo. Did you miss us? Did you miss us? While everyone else, after we won our match at WrestleMania, and not just our match, it was Omos's first match ever, and not to brag or anything, but I'm a Grand Slam champion now. We went down to the Caribbean, had a little, soaked up the sun, sat in the sand, had some pina coladas, enjoyed ourselves, had some good times, So now we're back, and we got told we're doing a title match. This is going to be a repeat of Mania, and then out come the New Day. And Kofi puts AJ on the spot saying, dude, when I won the world title at WrestleMania, I wasn't even booked for the next night. But I showed up on Raw, putting my title on the line, because that's the kind of champ I am. The New Day, we get our asses knocked down, but we get back up, man. We ain't the kind of champs like you are that are going to go and sit there and sit on our wins. So when we go in there, we're going to win, and we're going to be a not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but a 12-time tag champs. And then we proceed to the match. Now, the match, it was pretty much kind of like a replay of WrestleMania. Omos was starting at first, which was a little different from Mania, but after a few quick attempts to try and hit him, then it was AJ came in, and AJ proceeded to become the punching bag, and New Day, they were leading post-break. Omos got tagged in, and it wasn't like what it was at Mania, where it was a sudden fear of God of, oh my God, no. It was just like, oh shit, And I fucking dig it, Omos, here's the thing. I'm thinking now, and this is just me thinking out loud. You got Omos, you got Braun Strowman. You got two big guys right there. Keep them as far away from each other as humanly possible. Keep them in separate fucking solar systems if you have to. And as well as Drew McIntyre. Even though he's not anywhere near up to that height. But Drew, he's about 6'5", 6'6", I think. So while he may not be 7 foot, he's going to be a big motherfucker that's going to be able to look and be like, you know what? I could still kick your ass. As opposed to somebody who's like maybe 6 foot or maybe 5'10", being like, oh shit, this is gonna be a fucking hurting. Instead of having somebody that's gonna be like that. They got a lot of giants, I'm noticing. WWE's picking up a lot of giants, especially with Dijakovic also being on Raw, That being said, back to the match, it was Omos, he got tagged in and pretty much destroyed the New Day. It was pretty much a decimation. Match came to an end when AJ tagged in, climbed up on Omos' shoulders, and then wham! Popped Woods with the phenomenal forearm. 1, 2, 3. Your winners and still tag team champions, AJ Styles and Omos. And folks, I did gloss over this intentionally, but now I feel compelled to mention it. If you're going to look for this match to watch it, please do yourself a favor. Mute whatever it is you're watching it on when Omos is speaking. Because there's a reason AJ does most of the talking. Now with that said, now we go to the next match. Charlotte, going against Dana Brooke. Good God almighty. And feeling one of those brain dusters again. Charlotte, she was pretty much leading the pace of the match. It is, nothing too big or fancy to write home on, but say what you want, but Dana Brooke has improved considerably given the last time them two went against each other. Yeah, that being said though, Charlotte, she got the win. Doing the figure 8 after the match, Mandy Rose stepped in, attacked Charlotte, and then Sonya Deville came out, cut a promo. Didn't say nothing about them, but it was more so Charlotte insisting that she be interjected into the women's title match at Backlash and it be a triple threat, especially considering on how it's the men have a triple threat match and playing the equality card, if you will. And I'm kind of torn on the idea of adding Charlotte to it because on one hand, listen, I get it. She's a hell of a worker. She can perform. But I also, at the same time, I'm thinking, as much as I like seeing her in there, I also want to see other people at the same time. And that's what it is. Next thing you know, Rhea comes out. Whoa, no. Charlotte, here's the cold hard truth. I got into WrestleMania. I took your spot because you weren't here, and you know what? Nobody likes you. No one around here likes you. That's all it is, plain and simple. So, Sonya, do yourself a favor. Don't put her in. And then Asuka came out, and now I'm feeling a really hard brain duster for that just now. Asuka came out saying on how she's ready for Charlotte, she's ready for Rhea, she's ready for anyone, and she's going to become the Raw Women's Champion again. Next thing you know, Charlotte and Rhea start to brawl a little. Asuka interjects herself into it, and then it turns into a big schmoz. So either way, we're going to have a triple threat women's match at Backlash. Next matchup, we got Johnny Nitro, Morrison, Mundo, Impact, Esquire, Drip. Good God, this man has a lot of last names. Against Damian Priest. And Priest, he was pretty much leading it before the break and post. Wouldn't say he was leading, but he was more so dictating it. And by that I mean Morrison was, on camera leading and, having the advantage, but Priest was more so like dictating the pace on it, if that makes sense. But either way, decent enough match. Priest wound up getting the win, doing the hit the lights on the Morrison 1, 2, 3. Now there was some confusions and shenanigans going on before the finish because as Morrison was about to go for the split-legged moonsault, the Starship Pain, as he was doing that, Priest was going for a quick roll-up. Thank God it didn't go through, but Miz wound up getting on the apron, distracting the ref, and then Morrison reversed it, and then Miz climbed down the second he saw Morrison reversed it, and then that's when Priest clapped Morrison's ears and then hit the lights. Next matchup we got now, excuse me. Next matchup, we got a tag match that started up right out of nowhere, literally they went to commercial, and when we came back, we were already in the middle of the match. It was Cedric and Shelton Benjamin going against Lucha House Party, and I honestly, I have no way to describe on how I feel in this match one way or another. Like, whoa, what the shit? This was right out of nowhere. which, again, different. I'm all for different, but okay, this did not, I'm not quite sure on how I feel on this. But Lucha House Party got the win. Grand Metalik, he did a tightrope across the top rope, then did the flying elbow drop onto Shelton Benjamin. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, Cedric Alexander cut a very scathing, mean promo onto Shelton, saying on how I've been carrying your dead weight, your old decrepit ass, basically, and paraphrasing, mind you, and cutting one of those kind of promos saying, I'm done carrying you, consider us done. And then in the back, you see Shelton Benjamin doing an interview saying that I was the one that convinced MVP and Bobby Lashley to bring Cedric into the Hurt Business. He wants to go and question me. He's going to live to regret it. And all I can picture is Mia Yim somewhere sitting in the back laughing her ass off at Shelton Benjamin over that promo he got thrown at him. Next up, we got an impromptu match. Angel Garza going against Drew Gulak. And this came to be because it was a backstage segment where Garza was walking around with a rose. Gulak was teasing him. And then they said, well, how about we have a match? And then Garza said, fine. And after I'm done, I'm going to take this rose and I'm going to shove it up your ass. So now we come to the match. And I'm not going to lie. Tonight's show was rather interesting because we got to see some faces we don't normally see on a regular basis actually perform and have ample time to perform, which is something everyone in the quote-unquote IWC always complains about. So, yeah. This was a decent match. Garza was leading pretty much the entire way through. I dug the shit out of this match. I mean, Gulak had his ground and pound moments, and I dug it. It was a good match. And don't get me wrong, I love Drew Gulak. I do. But, I'll call duck a duck and a spade. The man's got a very dry personality. And I know this from from personal experience, because I got a very dry, witty personality. Which, I know, gasp, that's a hard thing to grasp, right? It's sometimes hard to translate that kind of a personality onto TV in a certain kind of way to make it connect to a large audience. But Garza, he got the win doing the wing clipper. 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, he picked up the rose, sniffed it a little, and then proceeded to lift up the back of Gulak's pants, jam the rose down there, and then kick him right where the rose was. Oh! Ow! 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 Ow. That had to hurt. Whew. I'll fully admit I'm stealing this joke from Shane Helms because he put it out there right after it happened, but pretty sure Gulak has some pretty rosy cheeks now. Whew. Next up we got tag match. It was Randy and Riddle, RK Bro again, going against Elias and Jaxson fucking Ryker. And this came to be because after the New Day's match, Elias and Ryker were going to try and throw tomatoes at Kofi, who was just sitting there, putting ice on a spot on him because he was achy and tired. They missed completely and clipped and caught Randy, and Randy was just like storming mad, like, rage, rage, fucking rage! And yeah. So, as far as this match went, the heels, they were leading at the start, and Riddle became the punching bag. Randy got the hot tag in. It was alright. It was pretty much a repeat of last week's RK Bro match, and I'm not gonna lie, anytime I ever get a chance to see fucking Gunner get put on the ass end of an ass whooping, I am all for. So I'm okay with this. The match came to an end when Randy, he was tagged in Riddle, hit the draping DDT onto Elias. Riddle did the floating bro, and just as Riddle was doing that, Randy popped an RKO onto Gunner. So, as much as I was hoping Randy was going to take a giant steaming shit in Riddle's bag last week, I'm now hoping that instead of Riddle, he winds up shitting in Gunner's bag. Or even both. 2 for 1. Either way, next matchup, we got Sheamus going against, well, this was definitely this was left field out of nowhere shit right here, because you see a random backstage segment where Mansoor, which you pretty much only seen him if you're hardcore dedicated to watching 205 or have watched the Saudi Arabia shows, he officially signed a contract. He's now part of the Raw roster. And Jimmy came in, was saying, "Hey, you're a new guy, huh? Yeah. Hey, so you think you're up to my league? Tell you what, how about you do answer my open challenge tonight? Don't worry though, it's not for the title." So then they proceed to have the match, and Jimmy pretty much was powering over him. Mansoor surprisingly delivered relatively well, and by that I mean considering he was on a live stage. Now I know the Saudi shows were live also, but consider into account not quite sure the amount of viewers for the Saudi show equals to that on a regular basis of a Monday Night Raw. We'll say anywhere from 1.5 to maybe 2 million. I'm just plucking a random number. But considering that, this is the kid's first time performing on live cable television, the kid fucking delivered. Mansoor delivered. He did good. I hope nothing but the best for him, in all honesty. Match came to an end when it was a DQ, as Jimmy was pumping himself up for the bro kick. Next thing you know, Humberto came out of nowhere, threw a cheap shot at Sheamus, and this was all because Sheamus threw a cheap shot and beat up Humberto earlier in the night. So we're more than likely going to get Humberto versus Sheamus at Backlash. Please, for the love of God, do not make another triple threat match, because we already got 2 triple threat matches too many. We don't need 3. Next matchup, we got women's tag match. Naomi and Lana going against Nia Jaxson, Shayna. Faces were... Now, Naomi and Lana, they were pretty much leading the match right up until the end, when, after they did the double facebuster onto Shayna, Nia was knocked out. It looked like they were about to win and we're going to get the women's tag titles. And then Reginald earned his keep and distracted the ref for a minute. And then after Reggie came down, then Shayna got her second win. Wiggled and wormed around, but eventually wound up popping in, choking out Lana with the Karabuta clutch. So your winners and still women's tag champs, Nia Jaxson, Shayna Baszler, which I'm okay with this match. Now we come to main event of the night. Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman. Whoo, Nelly. This is 2 big powerhouses. Now, nice little bit of back and forth doing the power struggle at the start. Bobby started the lead post-break. And at one point, Drew McIntyre actually came down. And that was what actually deflated Braun's advantage, because Braun was picking up the momentum. And then Drew came down and Braun started getting in his face, screaming, yelling, and then Lashley, boom, attacked Braun from behind and then started getting the momentum for himself. So, next thing you know, at one point, Strowman, he's going to do the running Strowman Express. He's going, he's at full steam, he's running. Lashley moves out the way and then, boom, slams Braun right into Drew McIntyre. And you can hear McIntyre yelling, who was sitting at the commentating table, get off me, you big bastard! And then eventually kicks him off. And then them two start squabbling and screaming back and forth at each other. Strowman gets back in the ring. Lashley then, boom, pops a spear on him. 1, 2, 3. That was it. And then afterwards, Afterwards, next thing you know, Drew winds up popping a Claymore, and then they officially announce next week Drew McIntyre is going to go one-on-one with Bobby Lashley. Non-title, mind you, but yeah. So, expect shenanigans from Braun Strowman on that end. So, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Also, look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also, I'm on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here. Or hit me up on Twitter and tell me you found me on there. So I don't think I creep John going. Thank you to my executive producer, Ollie Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that good shit. Details are down below. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women. Learn a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats who are writing on the Twitter. Jenny Killer, DSV_IV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.